Hey everybody, it's Gets 134 here.
Average Joe Squad here.
Welcome to yet another episode of Remember the Hyphen, the show where we look at comic books, movies, and everything in between.
This is our guest star for the day. This is Billy the Cat.
And, seeing as how it's still the month of Fantastic Four,
Somewhat. It's just June is the month of my birthday and I wanted to do fucking Fantastic Four stuff.
Well, no, I was trying to, because we got Movember, and Spideymas.
I don't think we're going to be able to come up with one.
Fantastic Four, it is then. All right. So this is probably my contribution to this whole month, because I figure since we're talking about all these Fantastic Four movies, we might as well be like, you know, what exactly do we want out of the MCU Fantastic Four? Which, you know, I think is pretty easy to talk about, just because, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, because basically, you know, now that they own the rights to, like, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and I feel like they're going to do Fantastic Four first anyways, because Marvel has stated, you know, it's going to be a while before we get to the X-Men. I figure, you know, they're going to do Fantastic Four first. So, what things do you think you want out of the Fantastic Four, or, like, where their place in the MCU should be? Because I have some things I figure will happen, but, like, I'll let you...
I want a good fucking movie.
Okay, fair.
First and foremost, I want a movie that actually captures this Fantastic Four. And what I mean by that is, like, I feel like every Fantastic Four movie we've had, even the 2015 one, do a little bit, has kind of captured a little bit of what the Fantastic Four are, you know, what they are in the comics. But there's never been a movie that's actually got the whole picture.
Right.
I really want a movie that captures the essence of what makes the Fantastic Four as awesome as I think they are.
Yeah. For me, one of the things is I really would like them to actually get an actress that actually makes sense for Sue, because that was honestly my least favorite part of the original two movies.
I know there's been a lot of the fan casts with that have been John I'm gonna butcher his
Jim
name.
from The Office, basically.
Yeah.
The actor
his wife,
Jim.
Emily Blunt, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt, being Sue, which I could see. I mean, she could pull that off.
Honestly, they could probably just get the dude who played who played the Thing originally, but because he'll be CGI mostly anyways.
Yeah, might as well bring him back. It'd be a nice touch.
Yeah, no, especially because he was really good as Thing. The thing with Johnny is probably going to be the hardest for them to cast.
Just because, how do you follow Chris Evans?
Yeah.
I'm ignoring the 2015 one because that movie is horrible.
Because they'd have to get a young. In my opinion, I almost think Johnny would have to be like someone like a new up and comer, or just someone new in general. Just because like Johnny has to be
the hot shot, the young brash member of the team.
And I think getting someone that's like new would make more sense, especially because like he would just work really well. The other thing is who's going to be the villain of the first film is the next big thing.
Which I know you and I have talked about this at length before, but for those who don't know, my thoughts would be if you're going to do a Fantastic Four movie, you do not start out with Doom initially. No. I feel like starting out with Doom eliminates like what a great reveal it would be.
Yeah.
Because I mean I would argue everyone except Rise of Silver Surfer has done Doom.
Yeah.
Even Rise of Silver Surfer did Doom a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
It's been forever since I watched it. But I feel like you could make Doom a really good villain, a recurring one.
Yeah.
Because I know the MCU has this problem with killing off other villains. Yeah. I feel like
with the exception of Loki.
I feel like Doom could be a great Loki-type character that he just kind of keeps popping up.
Especially because you could do a TV show about Doom.
Oh, exactly.
You could do a whole series about Doom.
Yeah. So my thoughts would be for the MCU Fantastic Four movie, I think the best choice of villain would be use somebody like the Mole Man or
definitely the Mole Man.
You could do the Namor wants to marry Sue plot, because what that could lead into tie-ins with Black Panther, because those two don't like each other. You could, and then at the end of it, I mean, I know we've talked about this specifically, is that at the end of the movie, do the Doom reveal as the post-credit.
Yeah.
Because that would be a great way to set up another Fantastic Four movie.
Because I also think you could have Victor himself, maybe, like, set up, like, the thing with Victor. Like, you could kind of do, like the Corman film, make it seem like Victor died. You could kind of bring up, like, there's this new ruler in Latveria, but no one knows who it is, and then lead into Doom. Because I actually would love for them to do Doom. His first appearance would be not in a Fantastic Four movie, he will be the villain for the second one. Have him show up in a Doctor Strange film and do Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment.
That would be a good
to
one.
Also, especially develop that he is just as good, if not better, a sorcerer than Strange himself. To kind of show that he's not just science like Reed, he also knows magic. Because like a lot of people don't know this, but Doom was actually in the running to become the new Sorcerer Supreme. Like him and Strange are actually both potential candidates to be like the official Sorcerer Supreme for the Vishanti. And I would love to see like that happen, especially because I think that would really work out. And not only that, like you could even have Doom like exploring some sort of energy source in space and lead into like the next big threat after Thanos, which I think you and I have also talked about this, should be Galactus.
Oh, definitely. I think after Thanos, how do you top Thanos? I think if done correctly, Galactus is even more of a threat than Thanos is.
Yeah, especially because you could do with doing Doom, he's looking for some sort of energy source, and maybe like at the end of it do kind of like a reveal like they did with Thor with the hammer, but instead of it be a surfboard, and kind of go into the fact that the Silver Surfer's here. And he has like, and then like, because then you could do a Silver Surfer movie, because I think regardless of whether you like him or not, I think Silver Surfer's like one of the more interesting things about like
and even then
stuff in general.
In introducing Silver Surfer, you could open it up to, if you want to have a Silver Surfer solo movie, you could.
Yeah.
It would open up the gate basically to get the character introduced.
Yeah. The only other character I think if they were not going to do Galactus, Annihilus. Because, like, he's, there's like, then they could bring in the Guardians as well, because yes, the Fantastic Four fight Annihilus a lot. He's more of a Guardians villain.
I've got an idea. I don't know if they would do it, because it would be a bit of a hot topic button to push. You could do the Hate Monger. With a lot of the social unrest anymore, you could do that. I don't know if they would want to take the risk of doing that in a way that might, upset people, but I feel like that would be a good one and a good way to keep things current.
Honestly, you could also do that maybe also kind of how they meet Black Panther, because Black Panther and Fantastic Four know each other pretty well. You could have it that like maybe he's on the trail of the Hate Monger and he comes across him messing with the Fantastic Four, and they work together to, because like one of the things I think is so frustrating with the MCU is just how much there wasn't a Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four knows everybody.
Yeah.
Because Reed just, if he doesn't help them with something, usually he ends up helping like by building them equipment and such, or just knowing them and such. I also think it would be kind of, especially because like it'd be interesting to see them interact with Spider-Man as well, since Spider-Man and them have been like tied together since like day 1 or 2.
Oh, definitely. And I think having the Johnny Storm Peter Parker friendship would do a lot.
Yeah.
For the MCU, like it would just kind of have that like another relationship there for Peter.
Because like it was cool that like they put him into the Avengers, but it was cool, but also at the same time kind of frustrating for me, just because like I like him being a member of the Avengers, but at the same time, like part of my problem with the MCU's portrayal of Spider-Man is he's so tied to the Avengers, because it was tied to Tony, and it would be nice to see him, hang out with Johnny, because it would be nice to see him actually have like a another teen hero in general would just be good for the MCU.
Oh, I would definitely
agree.
Because
at this point they only have Spider-Man, I think. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Only
when they introduce Kamala will probably be one of the first.
Well,
Peter.
Well, the problem there is though, because she's going to be a TV show. I don't know how, because like.
Well, with these ones, I don't think they're going to go the route they did with the Netflix series.
Yeah.
Because Disney directly owns these ones.
Yeah,
I feel like they'll probably be more so incorporated into things.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of the same with She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And Moon Knight. Those ones will probably, and the Loki and WandaVision stuff, those will probably be directly more tied into the main MCU stuff than the Netflix stuff ever was.
True. I'd also kind of like to see them, if they could do like a thing versus the Hulk movie. Seeing as how those two have had a rivalry for a long time.
I think that would be good if it was done well.
Yeah.
Because, Hulk movies do not have a very good track record.
What? Solo Hulk movies.
Hulk movies. What
Thor Ragnarok was great. Plus, I think you could do like Hulk versus movies. Like you can even have it that thing actually is trying to help the Hulk, because he relates to the Hulk on a certain level.
Yeah.
Because, they're both giant hulking monsters. And, while he doesn't want to fight the Hulk's not going to give him a lot of choice. Or even maybe have it that, Banner has come, undone from, him being able to be Hulk. And, so things I gotta go help him because one wants to do another. Especially because, I feel like they could do stuff with the Thing on his own. Because the Thing has been on his own a lot of times. He
has. I have a couple issues of his solo run from I think the mid '80s.
Yeah, they also got to reference Yancey Street. It's such a crime in all the other Thing movies. They don't talk about how he's from Yancey Street and that because that's a big part of his character. It's kind of a shame because you got Cap being representing Brooklyn. You got Peter representing Queens. Where's the Yancey Street love?
Yeah. Who would you cast if they did decide to go ahead with some of these villains? Who would you cast as them for Namor or Hate Monger?
The thing is, I don't know Hate Monger really well, so I'm not entirely sure.
Well, here's the thing with Hate Monger. He looks a lot like a KKK member. It's all black, but it's all black robes instead. So you could theoretically have it as a taskmaster thing where you don't see his whole face a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they would want to do, but
I don't know. The one for me that'd be hard to do is Doom. Because I don't know who they could get that would really
capture the essence of
Doom.
What about
Especially because they would have to get someone who would be willing to not take that mask off.
What about the guy from Dredd?
Carl Urban?
Yeah, Carl Urban. What about Carl Urban?
Yeah, I could see Urban doing Doom great. Oh, especially because he would just be allowed to just.
I mean, I know he's currently doing that Amazon show, The Boys, but
yeah.
I feel like if they called him and was like, "Do you want to do Doom?"
He'd be like, "Sign me up." Especially because Doom would be such a great shift in his because a lot of the characters he does, they're either kind of stoic or people that they aren't allowed to just go all out. And I think he could be really good as... Actually, that's not a bad idea. Namor is harder for me because I just don't know who I would pick. Because you'd have to get somebody...
I don't know his name, but let me look it up.
Okay.
He plays Jamie in Outlander.
Oh, okay. I think I kind of know who you're talking about.
Because I could see he's got the looks to pull off Namor, Yeah. I think he could do really, really well as it. His name is Sam. I can't pronounce
Sam Hagen. I think is how I pronounce that.
Yeah, I think that's how it is. I could see him being a great Namor, honestly.
So would you do a Namor movie right after that? After they.
I personally would, but that's also just because they've been trying to do that for years now.
I also wouldn't mind them doing Namor, especially if we could. And I don't know how much willing Chris Evans will be to return, but I would love for them to even go back in time, if they were doing Namor and the Invaders, because I would love to see it turns out that there actually were more heroes in World War II than we were told.
Yeah.
You could even have it be they were these characters were all together with Bucky and Cap, but they all went on separate missions, and then when Cap and Bucky appeared to die, they all disbanded because they just without Cap they couldn't hold it together. I think that'd be interesting, but I don't know how willing Evans would be to come back to do another movie.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was talk of him doing that appearance in Deadpool 2 that never came to fruition.
Yeah.
But it's I just don't know how willing he would be to be returning to the character.
Especially after his departure. But I think it'd be interesting to see them do something like the Invaders, just because the Invaders is so intrinsically a part of the character now. It would be interesting to see them do. If not that, I'd love to see maybe him do them do a kind of Atlantis attacks, where they have the serpents and stuff. Maybe because I'd like to see them do more of the monster stuff in Marvel. I don't see a lot now that could even lead into a Mole Man movie.
That would be a good way to get that character backdoored in.
Yeah.
Now I know this was something that we talked about the other day, but how would you update the Fantastic Four's origin for the MCU to kind of bring it into the modern age?
Well, I'll go with what I told you before because I like seeing as how like now, like that Tesla has gotten like his spaceship into space. I say you do it like that, where like they're trying to like beat out someone like Tesla, or like even just have it be their, they're trying to find new ways of getting us into space. So like Tony, like so you have like them go into space, like you have like Johnny, kind of stowaway, like because like Sue could like be like partners with with Ben, who's their pilot. Because I hate saying like Sue's like Reed's assistant, but like she
Partner.
like partner. Because like they kind of dance around the whole are they gonna get married sort of thing, and they take this experimental ship, like because like Reed's like we've got to do it today, but like like they see readings that like there's some sort of like energy in space. And you can do anything to say what that cosmic radiation is. You could say it's the byproduct of some previous movie, or it could even be that the Silver Surfer's board malfunctions.
It's the remnants of the snap.
Remnants of the snap. All that radiation.
I don't know how you would make that make sense within the lore, but you could probably just kind of BS something.
Yeah. But like that in mind, because like
he's sleepy.
But like I think that would really work, because you really wouldn't have to change much, because like I think they should do that for the comics in general, just like that Reed is trying to create new ways to get into space, or even if you want to do like how Fan Four Stick did it, have it be that he wants to try and use the negative zone as a means to like almost like the warp drive that like all these alien spaceships have that they do. Like he's trying to perfect that technology so Earth can use it. Maybe even have it like the events of some Captain Marvel movie where like some battle caused this energy to go into space, and like Carol tries to get it but she's not fast enough or something, and then the energy disappears and it goes into the Fantastic Four and makes them who they are.
Yeah. Now here's an idea with the Miss Marvel show coming up, and the matter of I don't think they've announced how they're gonna do her origin.
Yeah, because
do you think an FF movie would be a good way to backdoor the Inhumans back into the MCU, given that the Inhumans project died really, really bad?
I think so, because
you could introduce Black Bolt and Medusa into an FF movie.
Because with the fact that they're getting the X-Men back, you don't have to try and push all those other Inhuman characters. You just have to do Black Bolt and Medusa, because those are the only ones anyone cares about. Well, except for Lockjaw.
Or Kamala.
Sorry,
everybody forgets Kamala's an Inhuman.
Well,
technically.
I consider her an Inhuman in the fact how she got her powers, but like she's not a member of the royal family, so like that's what I consider the Inhumans. I would say do that, especially because if you do that, you have Namor, you have Black Panther, you have Black Bolt, you have Reed. Even though Tony is dead, this could by leading into an X-Men movie, you can get Professor Xavier. You could do an Illuminati movie.
That would be a good one, I think.
Or even just have the Illuminati, or even have the Illuminati be one of the phases. Maybe they're working on trying to prevent some big threat from happening.
Yeah.
Like you could even do that in a way that you could lead into a World War Hulk movie. Well, maybe not World War Hulk.
I mean, because they already did that technically Ragnarok, but
didn't really count in my opinion.
But I think that would be a good way to do things as well. If you want to try to introduce the black suit into Spider-Man, that would be a good way is having FF there, because Reed in the comics, Reed is the one that figures out it's a symbiote.
Yeah. Well, not like that. You could even argue that the black suits are a byproduct of one of the Fantastic Four movies in general.
Could.
Maybe or even that
because if they can get it together.
Yeah.
Marvel would do a Secret Wars movie. They would be.
Well, yeah.
They would be hard pressed not to. I think.
Speaking of, you could. Who would you like to see as the Beyonder if they were to do the Beyonder? Because the problem is I don't think they can do Watchers anymore because of the fact that Stan was a Watcher in one of the movies, and to be honest, I'd rather they just not. Because I think that was.
I kind of have the same issue with that as we did with Doom. I just don't really know who would be best suited for that character.
Honestly, in my opinion, I say you should look for someone like someone that does like game show stuff, and like I know it'd be weird, but have someone that kind of play the Beyonder
Alex
as
Trebek.
Yeah. I don't know if he's
Alex Trebek.
But you get what I mean, right? You could do
I totally get what you're saying.
That has this.
Who's got that presence?
Yeah. I don't know who I would pick, but I would love this because I'd love to see the Beyonder. You could even have it. He's who took my cosmic cube and reduced it to the stone? And like you could even have it that he turns the power stone back into the cosmic cube. Be like, you all have no idea how to use this. And so he he causes like you could like take all the TV shows and like all the other ones and make them their own separate realities and do like the Battle World thing, and have it be that Doom gets the cosmic cube. Oh, that would actually really work if you after you do like a Galactus movie. You could do it that Doom is the new big bad, and he does like the Secret War thing, and you could do all sorts of things.
Because
like,
let's be honest, a Secret War movie would make a lot of money.
And not only
that would be the easiest way to do the next big event movie.
Yeah, and not only that, you could.
Because I mean, I think right now they're heading towards doing a Kree Skrull War thing.
Yeah.
But like once they do that, like if they want to do more of like the classic stuff, they could easily do a Secret War movie. And I feel like if they did that, they would be effectively printing money.
Yeah, because like
it's going to be exactly why they did Secret Wars in the first place, to sell toys.
Yeah, because like regardless of whether or not you think Secret Wars is a good story,
like, it's an iconic.
It'd be like it was like how DC when they did the CW Infinite Crisis, like everyone wants to see something like Crisis on Infinite Earths on screen. Like granted, I loved Endgame. Like that was cool seeing like every single Marvel hero on screen. But like I would love to see them do Secret Wars because it would, and not only that, like Secret Wars could be a great way to finally get that live action Spider-Verse movie going. Even if say Doctor Strange into the
Multiverse of
Madness doesn't get it completely off the ground, it I think could be a great way to do it. Because like you could even argue that like that's how like the Beyonder and Doom screw up reality so much that like that's why there's all these different Spider-Men running around. Like it's like a byproduct of them screwing with reality.
That would be actually a good way to get that off the ground. If Raimi doesn't do it already with the new Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. Because like it would be so interesting, especially because I think Reed could finally fill that void left by Tony, because of the fact that like Tony was kind of the Reed Richards of this universe for so long, and granted, while I love Tony, it didn't really fit for some of the things either. Like him being the one to create Ultron was kind of a weird thing for me. Like I was okay with it, but at the same time, I'm like, that seemed like a odd leap in logic for him to do. But so we've talked about before. Would you be up for them doing like doing Franklin and Valeria?
I would. I think you would have to build up to it because I think one thing that I think The Rise of Silver Surfer did right was it showed the marriage.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to have that happen totally off screen. I think Reed and Susan getting engaged should be the end of an FF movie.
Yeah.
And then the next one, it could even be the next event movie.
Yeah.
Have that start because in the comics, that was a superhero wedding.
Oh yeah. No,
so you could have that be the start of one of the event movies.
Yeah.
That shows like everyone gathered, as they
Actually, that would
Susan
be a good
and
idea.
Reed get married.
That'd be kind of interesting to see them start off with like them doing an event without like being some big crisis.
Yeah, because to do Franklin and Valeria, you would have to build up to it because Franklin happens a bit after they get married, and then Valeria happens a lot later.
Especially because, like, with Franklin, you could say that perhaps his powers caused him to age up really fast. Because, his Psylord powers.
Yeah. Well, you could also maybe do, like, you could kind of do a Young Avengers movie if you did, like, Kamala, Franklin, Peter, like a couple different, the younger heroes.
I kind of hope, like, if they were to do Franklin and Valeria, they would eventually lean to us getting, like, say, like, the Power Pack. I would love to see a Power Pack movie. Franklin does hang out with the Power Pack.
Yeah.
Would you like to see Herbie in?
I would be fine with seeing Herbie in these if he's done right.
Honestly, if you're gonna have Herbie, just have him be like an assistant to Reed, not like always going on adventures with the.
Kind of like how he babysits Franklin and Valeria a lot.
Or even have it be like he's like a gift from Reed to like Tony Stark. And like Reed tinkered with him to make him more like a personality he'd like. He's like, I call him Herbie. And Sue's like, you gave the thing life? Life is a crude sense of the word. I simply took the law of robotics out of him, Sue. You did what?
Yes.
What? I disarmed him, honey.
Disarmed.
Like, he can't kill. Tell him, Herbie, you can't kill. Of course not. I am not programmed to use weapons. I can learn, certainly, but I'm not Herbie.
That would be like the fun. Like Herbie could kind of serve as the comic relief when Johnny's not there, because I feel like Johnny is definitely one of the more comic relief characters for
totally.
Fantastic Four, and I don't say that in a negative way to say that Johnny can't be a serious character, because he certainly is, but more often than not anymore, he's kind of the one that provides the color commentary.
Yeah, and to be fair, I do think he's kind of like Barry Allen in the JLU cartoon, like he's the one that kind of is the heart of that group in a sense. Like when he died, it was honestly pretty rough for the Fantastic Four there for a while.
Yeah,
like because like without
say what you will about the Future Foundation story.
Yeah, but because like that was one of the things I thought they got really right with that, where like they were grieving for Johnny, and like things were definitely very different between all of them. Like one of my favorite stories to come out of that was when Franklin runs away from home and Peter sees him. He's like, I was friends with your Uncle Johnny. Do you want to talk about it? And and he's like, I just kind of want to get away from everything for a while. And Peter's like, okay. We get those scenes where like he buys the kid a chili dog, and they sit up, they sit in web hammocks, and Peter's just like, I know what it's like to miss someone. I lost my uncle a long time ago. He's like, and like you get that part where Franklin's like, I think I could have saved my Uncle Johnny if I'd used my powers, and then you get the part where Peter's like, you want to know something,
Which
kid?
would be a good way for them to finally just acknowledge Ben in the MCU.
That would be great. Especially because you could just have it be like, who was your uncle's name? His name was Ben, Johnny. Or, his name was Ben Franklin. His name was Ben. Oh, I'm getting chills.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to do it. And like, my biggest thing with the FF would be, give them their fucking costumes.
Absolutely. Well, to be fair though, I think Marvel does a pretty good job.
They've gotten a lot better with it. But with the FF especially, I feel like the costumes are so iconic to their identity that if they don't use them, it's not going to be the whole package.
Like if you have to update them, I'd actually say the newer cartoon. I really like those costumes. They could do
the one with like the red background for the four.
Yeah, well, I meant more like that cartoon. The one Fantastic Four cartoon.
Yeah, the one where they're white and blue suits.
Yeah, like
that one. That's the
gives
same
it
like
a bit more of an armored look. Oh,
that's the same one I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry, I can't remember they having red on it, but that.
Yeah, the four logo on the chest has red behind it.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I like those suits.
I also just realized we forgot to say who do we have as Galactus.
That's a good question.
That would be hard.
Yeah, that would be a hard one.
I would say get someone who's really good. I was throwing around. We could do Keith David as Galactus.
I would be down for that.
Like, because he has that gravitas, and he would be really good. I also think we didn't give any like an idea who we would want for Norrin Rad, the Silver Surfer. But the Silver Surfer's kind of hard to do. I'm not sure who would be able to pull off that.
Can we just bring the guy back from Rise of the Silver Surfer?
We can do that, because he was pretty good.
I mean, he was good. It's just the movie overall, the writing for the script was garbage.
Yeah. Because, that's the thing. I wish Marvel would go back to, like, actors that did these roles, but, like, they got in a
I'd
bad
even be
rap.
down if they brought Wesley Snipes back as Blade. I feel like he could still do it.
Yeah, either that or, like, you could do it, maybe he's, like, the guy that trained Blade.
Yeah.
You can make him Whistler.
Like, just a little bit of, like, just acknowledgement, all these other... Because these other movies are still they're beloved. I mean, as much as you and I rag on the 2005, 2007 movies, there's a lot of people that still like them.
Would you want them to bring up the first Human Torch?
I would be totally okay with that. I actually have an idea that we're going to save for another episode on another idea that you and I tossed around because of a certain website, but
okay, gotcha.
I could see them doing that.
Yeah,
you know what would be cool?
Because, I mean, they referenced him in Captain America the First Avenger as, like, a little reference to the fact that Chris Evans was the Human Torch originally, but, like, I wouldn't mind seeing Torgo show up. Especially because he was technically the first superhero of the Marvel Universe.
You know what they could do? Is you could technically bring Chris Evans in as him. Because I'd be like, he was built in the image of Captain America. Like, that would be awesome.
Oh, you could even have it be that, like, that's how they get Vision back. Is like he's like my mental processors are breaking down. put the Mind Stone into my body and give Vision his voice back. That would be interesting.
Yeah, like I feel like that would be a good way to. Again, it would be a matter of do you want to get do you want to and can you get Chris Evans come back for that?
To be honest,
I feel like it would be kind of confusing to those that don't know, but at the same time, it would be kind of cool.
Yeah, because like, especially because like I feel so bad that Torgo doesn't really get referenced almost at all in anything. Because again, he was technically the first.
You and I were surprised at him getting a Funko Pop.
Yeah,
which I have.
Because like I just think it's unfair that Torgo gets like no because again he was literally like the first Marvel superhero. Like, he literally was, like, the first thing ever created. Even before Marvel itself was called Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, well, him and... Because,
the actual name of the comic was Marvel Comics.
Yeah. Like, because one of the things... Like, one of the only other references that I think he ever gets is the amazing Alex Ross. And one of these days we'll actually review it on here. I gotta find it so you can read it, but... Is Marvel's. Where they point out he and Namor were the first superheroes of that universe. Well, Namor was a superhero.
Yeah. So, I think we covered everything pretty good. You know, do you want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, like, because to be honest, I think with getting the Fantastic Four, and regardless of how they do it, it's going to be a good step for Marvel, just because of the fact that getting the, like, without... Marvel's cinematic universe has just been kind of awkward without having the first family of Marvel.
No, and I feel like doing a good Fantastic Four maybe will give the Fantastic Four a little bit more credibility than they've had recently.
Because like I think Marvel can do it right and make it work really well. And of course, I think we're still a long ways away, but I think we're in for something interesting.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Remember the Hyphen. Come back next week when we start talking about the rest of the Fantastic Four films. As always, I'm Zongancy 134.
Average Joe Squad here.
And as always, we ask you,
remember the hyphen and take care.